Hello, my friends. Thanksgiving has come and gone, and while it may not have been the best year that we've had, there hopefully is something in your life that you can be thankful for, and I hope that Thanksgiving was at least mildly good for you in any way, shape, or form. That being said, today being Friday, which would normally be Black Friday, originally it was intended to be a day when all stores would report black numbers instead of red numbers being a loss of profit, black numbers being a gain of profit. It seems like Black Friday has been kind of modulated, and everybody was trying to get a little bit earlier and earlier until some companies were like, okay, we're going to do Black Thursday. And then many companies were like, oh, well, we're going to beat you all the way to Wednesday. It'll be Black Wednesday. And they all called it Black Friday deals. Yeah, it's changed even to the point that this month was Black Friday month. The entire month of November just happened to be what most companies chose to do their Black Friday on. Whatever. Most of the time, I spent at least the last 3 months before Black Friday, and I would research items that I needed to and I wanted to buy. I'd find out their prices, and then when I found out the deals for Black Friday, I would know if I was getting a good deal or if I was just paying the same price. And I usually saved a lot of money on Black Friday. That being said, I came up with a few things that that I personally live by that I think might be able to help you in some way. If you find a way to apply it to your life, then great. One of the first things that I did was several years ago, I discovered or found out about an app called Gas Buddy. And Gas Buddy is a simple little app where when you're at the pump, you log in and you say, yep, I'm at Phillips 66 and I'm paying this much for my gas. And they record that, and then somebody else who uses the app will be like, I need to go buy gas. They bring it up and they see nearby them the same Phillips 66 you just filled up at, and they say, oh, you had a good price there, but it's a whole 10 cents more where I'm sitting just 3 blocks away. I'm going to go 3 blocks and pick up gas at where you picked it up because it was cheaper there. And this being a crowd-aided system, in general, if you log into Gas Buddy before you go get gas, there's a chance that within a couple of blocks of you, you might find lower or cost or cheaper gas, or you might find something along your route that'll be cheaper than where you're at exactly at the moment that you're looking for gas. The second thing is I started looking at time and money in a totally different way. I honestly believe in the philosophy that says money is time, or money equals time, which is really, I mean, here's the perspective I go from. In order for me to earn money, I have to dedicate my time and my talents to something, which in exchange, they will give me some of their time and, so to speak, in the form of money. They'll give it to me as a trade. They've traded some of their time that they've stored up into cash to give to me as cash. Moving on from that, that means that, for example, if I make a net amount of $10 per hour, and then I go buy a burger at $5, that means I have to dedicate half an hour of my life just to get that one burger. And if I decide that I want to go buy something that requires me to take out a loan, I have to borrow time from the future in order to pay for it. In other words, I need to take out a loan where I will write down on a contract saying, I will dedicate this amount of money back to you, which means, say it's $1,000 and I'm making a net 10 per hour, that means I have to dedicate 100 hours of my work to paying for that item. Question it being, is it worth it to pull from the future, or should you just save up your time so that you can buy it without pulling from the future and essentially setting yourself at a disadvantage for the future? You gotta weigh the odds. Okay, the third thing that I want to share with you guys is a rule that I call 3 to 30. The background on this one is that retailers use emotions and hype to get you to buy stuff without thinking about it. Emotional buying is the human race's worst type of spending. it has the highest rate of buyer's remorse. 3 to 30 means separate yourself from the pattern by a minimum of 3 days, up to maybe 30 days minimum. And I start with at least 3 days. If it's something that I need and I think about it and it's like, okay, yeah, I need it, I'll give myself 3 days before I go buy it so that I can get off the emotional hype. And maybe by day 2 or day 3, my logical brain will start thinking, oh, is that really all that worth it? And I will either further convince myself to purchase it with a logical decision, or I will set myself on the path where it's like, yeah, this really isn't that worth it. I think I'm going to move my money somewhere else. The 30 concept is much better if you can manage to wait 30 days, because if you can get yourself 30 days apart from an emotional hype, you'll find sometimes you'll find first that you get time to save up the money for it. So you're not going to go into credit. You're not going to just blow a certain budget just to get the item. And 2, you will open up the opportunity for a sale to happen. And if a sale does happen, you have a third awesomeness, which is you can invest the difference, and you can take the money that you originally saved for that $30 item that you now paid $25, and you got $5 to invest, or to spend on something else. But if you want to invest it, that's a good thing to do. The fourth thing I want to tell you about is know what your finances are doing. Finances are sneaky things. We tend to find that we make little purchases, micro purchases here and there, and they start whittling away at the value or the opportunities that we have in other places. That being said, making sure that you do a regular checkup and a regular verification of what every single penny of your efforts goes to, it'll change the dynamic of what you're spending money on, where you're kind of leaking money. Like if you find yourself going and buying a soda pop every day, and you'll find yourself leaking that money, and it's like, well, do I really need that soda pop? I'm not sure if I do. The knowing what your finances are doing will also help you be aware of and identify if somebody has managed to fraud your account. You will see a purchase that you're like, hey, that purchase isn't mine. And you will be able to catch it early before the person realizes they can charge your account huge and make a big purchase. I cannot tell you how many times this has saved my skin, because we found, just happened to log in and check on our finances, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. Yesterday a purchase was made for $20 in a state 5 states away from here. Oh dear. Call the fraud department, say, hey, this is not us. We're doing our investigation to find out if it is us, but we're pretty sure this isn't us. And they're like, okay, we'll lock down your account and we'll see what happens. And sure enough, we've we've stopped several fraud attempts on our account just by making sure that we were checking in on our account every once in a while. The final thing that I got for you, and this is also probably another extremely valuable one, if you have started to invest, teach yourself not to sell on a scare. The stock market is the epitome of emotion in the United States and the world for the most part, And if things go sour in politics, or if they go sour in in the United States anywhere, the market usually reflects. And one of the worst things we can do is realize losses by selling during a dip. It's difficult to do, and it's terrifying, but I have managed to teach myself not to sell on a dip or as a drop. It was very tempting in March to sell off my stocks because I was like, oh my gosh, I've lost 25% of my value. This is insane. And then it dropped to 30%, and it dropped to 45%. And I was like, this is insane. But what I did to mitigate my stress was I started buying in. and I bought in more, and I bought in more, and bought in more, and now we're looking at a new all-time high for the market. And I'm glad I kept buying in, because not only am I back up to positive numbers across the board, but I gained a huge chunk of extra money because I kept buying while it was low. And it changed the dynamic for what I look at in the market. Red days for me are exciting because I want to buy in on those days. And the sad part about red days is a lot of red days I find myself not having enough money to buy in. And so it creates a different stress for me. But I think it's a much better stress than potentially worrying and fretting and pulling out hairs over the fact that I'm losing money as the market dips. But really, I'm only losing money when a company stops paying dividends. And when a company stops paying dividends, I set that company to not get any more money, but then I wait for that company to bring itself back up to zero, and then I just get rid of the company because I have a dividend portfolio. I want a dividend portfolio, and if the stock isn't paying dividends, it's no longer invited to be part of my portfolio. That's the skinny of my portfolio. I hope that at least one of these items has been good for you and might be applicable to your life. These are not suggestions, but they are what I do in my life. I might have said it in a way that it sounded like a suggestion, but these are what I do in my life. I just typically find myself talking to you. It comes across more as advice in those cases, and I'm not trying to advise you. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you did find something of the 5 tactics that I showed you today that you can apply to your life and that you think will help you out, I really hope it does. And make sure you comment in the towel section below and let me know if they help you. Like and subscribe if you liked this video, and there will be more next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.